This lecture is on chemical nomenclature. Nomenclature is a set of rules in writing or naming an actual substance. The types of substances that will be discussed are 1. Ionic compounds, 2. Molecular compounds, 3. Acids, and 4. Hydrates. For type 1 ionic compounds, these compounds involve metals with one known charge. Naming these ionic compounds are as follows. Name of the metal cation followed by the base name of the nonmetal anion plus the suffix IDE. For type 2 ionic compounds, these compounds involve metals with at least two known charges. Naming these compounds are as follows. Name of the metal cation along with the metal cation's charge in Roman numerals in parentheses, followed by the base name of the nonmetal anion plus the suffix IDE. Some examples of type 1 metals include K+ or potassium ion, Na+ or sodium ion, Ca2+ or calcium ion, and Ba2+ or barium ion. Some examples that are type 2 metals include Cu2+, which is copper, II, or cupric ion, Cu+, which is copper I, or cuprous ion, Pb2+, which is lead II, or plumbous ion, and Pb4+, which is lead IV, or plumbic ion. In this system, after naming the metal, the charge is expressed in Roman numerals in parentheses to differentiate one species from another of the same element. What happens when naming ion compounds involving polyatomic ions? Unless the cation was either He2, 2+, which is mercury II in parentheses, or NH4+, which is ammonium ion, the metal ion's guideline with either type 1 or type 2 is to be followed. The polyatomic anions will end with either ATE, IT, or ID. Name the ionic compound in accordance to the type 1 or type 2 format. Some examples of monoprotic anions include F- or fluoride ion, Cl- or chloride ion, O2- or oxide ion, and S2- or sulfide ion. Some examples of polyatomic anions include NO2- or nitrite ion, NO3- or nitrate ion, SO3- or sulfite ion, PO4- or phosphate ion, and OH- or hydroxide ion. This special class of polyatomic ions is designed for ones where the nonmetal is a halogen, being either Cl, Br, or I. It is a series in the form of XO4-, XO3-, and XO2-. If X is Cl, then the names are as follows. ClO4- is for chloride ion, ClO3 minus is chloride ion, ClO2 minus is chloride ion, and ClO minus is hypochlorite ion. Note a similar pattern arises if X is Br or I. Here is sample example 1. Provide the chemical form of this compound, sodium iodide. Here, the form of the ions is Na plus and I minus. After crisscrossing the magnitude, the final formula is NaI. Here is sample example 2. Provide the chemical form of this compound, cobalt 2 phosphate. Here, the form of the ions are CO2 plus and PO4 3 minus. After crisscrossing the magnitudes, the final formula is CO3, open parentheses, PO4, close parentheses, 2. Molecular compounds consist of two nonmetals, and naming these substances are as follows. Prefix plus the name of the first nonmetal element, followed by the prefix along with the base name of the second nonmetal plus the suffix IDE. Note, prefixes are not required in front of the first nonmetal if it's 1, and if the prefix ends with A or O and the anion starts with O, then the last letter of the prefix is dropped. The prefixes used in naming these molecular compounds are based by the number of atoms per component. The prefixes are 1 is mono, 2 is di, 3 is tri, 4 is tetra, 5 is penta, 6 is hexa, 7 is hepta, 8 is octa, 9 is nona, and 10 is deca. Here is sample example 3. Provide the chemical form of this compound, dinitrogen tetraoxide. In this case, di means 2, nitrogen has an element symbol N, and tetra means 4. And oxide refers to O for an overall form of N2O4. The other question is provide the chemical name of this compound, PCl5. In this case, P is the element symbol for phosphorus. Five, as the subscript indicates, the prefix penta, and Cl is the element symbol for chloride, and since it is in the anion row, thus the name of this compound is phosphorus pentachloride. Here is sample example 4. Provide the chemical formula of this compound, boron trifluoride. In this case, boron has an element symbol of B, and no prefix infers 1 as the subscript. Tri means 3, and fluoride has an element symbol F for an overall formula of BF3. The other question is provide the chemical name of this compound, XeI4. In this case, Xe is the element symbol for xenon. 4, as the subscript indicates, the prefix tetra, and I is the element symbol for iodide. Since it is in the anions row, thus the name of this compound is xenon tetraiodide. Acids have two branches of naming, binary and ternary. Binary acids are substances that consist of hydrogen and another nonmetal. Examples, are HClAQ in parentheses and HIAQ in parentheses. Ternary acids are substances that consist of hydrogen, oxygen, and another nonmetal. Examples are HNO3AQ in parentheses and HClO3AQ in parentheses. As you can see, acids are in aqueous state, meaning it is dissolved in water, and these substances start with H in its form. Naming binary acids are as follows. It is the prefix hydro plus the base name of the nonmetal plus the suffix IC followed by the word acid. Here is sample example 5. Provide the chemical form of this compound, hydrochloric acid. Here, hydro means H with a plus charge, and chloric comes from the anion chloride, whose formula is Cl minus. And when put together, it is HClAQ in parentheses. The other question is, provide the chemical name of this acid, H2SAQ in parentheses. Here, the key anion is S because there are 2 H plus ions per 1 S2 minus charge. The name of the anion is sulfide. Therefore, the complete name is hydrosulfuric acid. Naming ternary acids depends upon the suffix of the polyatomic anion. If the polyatomic ion ends with IT, then the name is as follows. Base name of the anion plus OUS followed by the word acid. If the polyatomic ion ends in with 8, then the name is as follows. Base name of the anion plus IC followed by the word acid. Here is sample example 6. Provide the chemical formula of this compound, nitrous acid. Here, the us ending means that the polyatomic ion ends with IT, and this is NO2 minus or nitrite ion, and when combined with a hydrogen ion, the formula is HNO2 aqueous in parentheses. The other question is, provide the chemical name of this acid, H3PO4AQ in parentheses. Here, the polyatomic ion has to be PO4 3 minus because there are 3 H plus ions in this formula, and since the polyatomic name is phosphate, the name from its original element's name of phosphorus, and dropping US with IC for the name to be phosphoric acid. Hydrates are inorganic compounds that are attached to a specific number of water molecules. A popular example to the right is copper, II in parentheses, sulfate, pentahydrate. It is a bluish crystal where the color is due to the properties of the metal ion. Let's take a look at the properties, structure, and format in naming these substances. Here is the structure of CuSO4.5H2O, where the salts ions are visible, and surrounding it are 5 water molecules interacting with the cation and anion. Hydrates undergo decomposition when heated. In this example, CuSO4.5H2O S in parentheses, when heated, produces CuSO4S in parentheses, and 5 water vapor molecules. Naming hydrates are as follows. Name of the ionic compound, followed by the prefix plus the word hydrate. Note, prefixes are similar to those when naming molecular compounds, but additional prefixes include 1/2 for hemi and 12 for dodeca. Here are a couple examples. ZnNO3 in parentheses 2.9H2O is named zinc nitrate nonahydrate. MgSO4.7H2O is named magnesium sulfate heptahydrate. Here are 2 review questions. Name each of the following substances. HBrA2 in parentheses, FeC2O4, and SiO2. Write the chemical formula for the following substances. Cadmium permanganate, oxygen difluoride, and hydrocyanic acid. For the remaining part of this lecture are solutions to review exercises or problems. Please view only after completing these exercises.